Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.
Episode 47.
So do we want to talk about the book now?
Okay. Should we have an introduction? My
How's
introduction is to plead our listeners to tell their friends to listen to us.
Do they have friends?
I don't know. Probably not. That's why they're listening to us.
We're their friends.
Yeah. Tell us you're listening to us.
Tell us to listen as well.
Yes. Which I haven't in a while.
Yeah.
Like, I just was like, nope.
Not been editing?
Well, I was about to say, that's the only time.
Yeah.
But it's not like sit there and listen.
Right.
So yes, tell your friends about this. That's promoting this.
Yeah. I mean,
word of mouth is how it works, right?
what? We have like 2 active listeners, right?
Well, we have surprisingly more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think we're around 40 across all the platforms.
What?
Yeah. Which is a pitiful number still, but like how?
That's like, I don't know, like in my head, that's like amazing.
It is amazing.
It's like there's 40 people willing to listen to us
Yep.
do this.
Most of it's through Spotify.
Yeah.
But then there's some that listen on the Podbean itself. I don't think anyone listens on Google.
I didn't even know Google
Yeah,
had
I don't
a thing.
think anyone's listening there when I looked at the analytics. And then there's like 1 or 2 people on iTunes or
Okay.
Apple Podcasts.
Right.
But the bulk of it's on Spotify.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's like you with multiple Spotify accounts.
I actually canceled my one Spotify account.
Okay, so
like
yeah.
months ago.
There's people out there listening to us on Spotify.
Wow.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. and put us on playlists. You can do that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, like other people.
I don't know.
Oh. Well, if that's a thing, you guys should put us on playlists.
Yes.
just go to our profile, drag all basically our entire archive, is like put it on a different playlist.
Yeah.
It's like you can get it here, but you can also get it here.
Yeah.
On the same exact platform. It's just the playlist is named something different.
It's all options, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And we opted to read The Rocketeer
Yep.
by Dave Stevens. That was hard for me to remember because it's 2 first names almost.
Yeah.
And I kept on getting it mixed up with like John and James.
Well, it could potentially be like more than 2 last names because Stevens is a plural.
True. All the Dave Stevens are out there.
Right.
Like there's just a bunch of guys named Dave Steven.
It's 5 people named Dave Steven,
Yeah.
but they all got together to write this one book.
The Rocketeer.
Yeah, Rocketeer.
Rocketichu. This is Diablo 2 talk now.
Oh, let's not go down the Diablo rabbit hole.
It was an origin story followed by 2 follow-up issues, or 3, 2 mini stories afterwards.
Right. And it definitely felt like it could have been written back when the Rocketeer was a thing.
Right. Like, so it got me, I was confused then. Like, was the Rocketeer a news strip or a comic strip back in the 40s and 50s and
I don't know.
stuff? Or was this just something written in more modern times to mimic old-timey stuff?
Right.
Because the setting and the dialogue and the writing all feels very accurate to the time. The art, however, feels more modern, but to mimic an older time.
Right.
Like the actual art itself is drawn to make you think in the 50s. But it's on newer, like, I don't know how to describe it.
I mean, like, the way I think of it in my head, like, when I look at older comics, the color itself always seems a little muted.
Right, and there's a lot of, like, pixels and stuff.
Yeah.
This is, like, new technique of art styled in the old style.
Right, like,
For
maybe
characters.
they did it digitally.
Yeah, right.
But still mimicking the the line work and all that
Yes,
stuff from way back in the day.
That's how I picked it up.
Yeah.
Like that big. So I think it's a newer book.
Yeah, I actually, because of that, I went and looked at the publishing date and stuff, and it's like early 2000s.
Okay, gotcha.
Whoop, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the only thing I know about the Rocketeer, but the only thing I really remember about it is the costume and that it was a thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I vaguely remember watching, I want to say, a Disney movie that was a Rocketeer, but I don't remember a whole hell of a lot of it.
It's like a movie or maybe a TV show or something.
Yeah. And I remember it existed, and for whatever reason, this one and then the one in 2 weeks, was like, oh, those are things. And you'll find out in 2 episodes, I should say, not 2 weeks, what the other thing is. So I just put them on the list. It's like, I've never read that. I know it's a thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should read it. It's kind of like, for example, Moby Dick. How many people know generally what Moby Dick is? It exists, but they've never read the fucking thing.
Right.
Right? Kind of where Rocketeer came up to on this list.
Yeah, it's just something in the back of people's heads, like pop culture thing.
Right.
But neither of us have really any experience with it other than knowing that it's a thing.
Right. And now we've read some.
Yeah, and not a big fan.
No. I really enjoyed the origin story bit.
Yeah.
It just felt slightly campy and goofy. It felt like how 50s movies feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was really neat and sort of wholesome, and it was just fun.
Yeah, it's got that, ooh, golly gee.
Right.
Stuff going, which is, it's what it is. It's not my bag of tea. I guess my biggest problem is it feels so dated.
And it's hokey.
Yeah. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves is, narrating what I'm already seeing.
Right.
And that's all over this book.
Right, yeah.
I can't stand that shit. It's annoying to me. But also, all the characters seem fairly one-dimensional.
Yeah.
There's nothing really going on with them.
None of them, no.
Yeah. So there's nothing really keeping my interest other than, this is a book that we're going to read and talk about, so I should probably read it.
Right. I was interested. So excluding the tail bits, the last 3 issues of the collection, I was kind of expecting more. I don't know if it would be crime fighting, because I didn't know what the fuck the Rocketeer did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if he was a hero or just some ass. I didn't know. But I was expecting more like crime fighting or action stuff outside of him discovering this jetpack and then flying around like an idiot.
Right.
Like, I just thought there'd be more him saving stuff or what. No, it's basically 5 issues of him getting a jetpack and then running away from the people that he essentially stole the jetpack from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And getting, ridiculously lucky.
Yeah.
There's no skill.
No.
He's not competent.
No.
He's just really fucking lucky.
Yeah. The first time he flies and then decides to land, instead of, taking a moment to try and think of how to land, he's like, oh, there's some boxes. Boop! I'm going to crash into the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's like...
And the thing is, all the shit was written in a manual that he had.
Nope.
He just didn't look.
I'm putting it on and going.
Yeah.
And then not trying to stop this crash. This is a good option.
Now, speaking of that basically initial first flight, right?
Yep.
So he had the main character, Cliff Secord.
Mm-hmm.
He had his buddy fashion like a little outfit and a helmet, right?
Yep.
I remember in the panel when he first takes off, it's like, oh yeah, my buddy, I think his name's Peavy,
Mm-hmm.
said the fin on the helmet works as a rudder and it works really well. It's like, oh shit. If that's a rudder, that means you literally can't turn your head.
Yeah.
At all, or you're fucked.
I didn't notice that, but it's true. If that's your rudder, Like,
if you're steering by
Yeah.
turning your head, that is a horrible design choice.
yes. There was also a moment when the main character is like being chased, and then Peavy, I think it was, pulls him into the car, and he says, "No, leave the jetpack on." And he hops in the car with the jetpack. So A, I don't think you could fit. But B, later on they crash, and then he just escapes by flying away on the jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated how that existed, and those lines existed solely for the plot. Like, which I know storytelling does that, but this was a stupid thing that shouldn't have happened, but it happened because later down the road,
because we needed this.
He needs to get out of this situation. And I was like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like, I had an analogy in my head, but now all I'm hearing is just a low, angry hum. But okay, it's like seeing a zipper in a costume.
Right.
That's
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's lazy.
Yeah.
It's lazy writing.
Off topic, but it popped in my head. Why did aviator pants have those weird, like, hip bulges? Do you know? From World War II era, I guess?
Maybe they're wings for people.
But, I mean, I've seen them in other media, too. It's like the weird, up where pockets would normally be. They're like weird, bulging hip.
It's like just pants. Like a lot of extra fabric for no reason.
I don't know. There's got to be a reason.
Well, I mean,
but it's only pilots. No one else has them.
You think like maybe the seats are so uncomfortable that they have the extra fabric so they can fold it under as an additional cushion?
Maybe. Could be. Like save their butt cheeks or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe they're just really large pockets so that they can have snacks on the airplane. Like pocket tots.
Right. Because you can't have like a glove compartment on an airplane. Right?
No. Yeah. No.
There's no drink holders.
Especially the open cockpit ones.
Right. Oh yeah. Like the biplanes that they were flying. Well, they weren't biplanes, but they were open top ones. Where they just
I'm so sorry. That's stupid. Biplanes and open top. Like no bottom planes. No straight planes.
Nope.
No gay planes.
Nope.
They're open top biplanes. I don't know. You said the words and my brain worked in a different way.
So let's break down what this would mean. Like, obviously this is only within the plane community.
Yeah.
So
but there's nothing plain about them.
No, they're. I don't know where that will go, but okay, so these planes are and are openly tops.
Yes.
But if there are no gay planes, who are they topping?
Boats? Aircraft carriers?
Would that be like would that be like the transportation version of bestiality? Or is that more of an interracial thing?
It's interracial.
Yeah?
Like, I would argue. So, in the warfare machinery realm, it's more interracial. Now, if it was going after like a tree or a building,
so because they're say a boat and a plane are both transports of
or machinations of war.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Let's get a comic about this. And we'll read it and tell you if it's any good.
What if the comic is basically the topic we're discussing, but basically Pixar's Cars?
Pixar, please turn this into a movie and give us writing credits.
Yes. But no, overall, like, the origin story I enjoyed. There was clearly a Betty Page character in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated how her story hinged on, like, basically the main character being a jealous
Yep.
partner. Not even really a boyfriend. But her whole reason for existing was because of this guy.
Yeah. She, just like everybody else, one-dimensional.
Yep.
She exists as a plot device.
Yep, for him.
Yep.
And then he goes and saves her later. Quote unquote saves her. Shows up to New York when she was
Yeah, which is kind of creepy.
kind of creepy, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Granted, sure, dude that she was with at the time is a creep.
yeah, the
But
photographer
he doesn't
guy.
fucking know that. He's just being a fucking creepo.
Yeah.
They're both creeps.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, they're both aware that they're both being creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
So the real story should be Betty ditching the both of them and going off doing her own shit.
on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah. I would read that.
Yeah.
Like, if this is... Well, actually, if this first, book was essentially like an origin story for this Betty character going off doing her own shit.
Becoming a mega model.
Right.
Hollywood superstar.
Right.
That'd be
kinda
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I left these jokers
Right.
and focused on me.
Yeah. Left the photographer who admitted that, he's just using her for sex.
Right.
And ditched the loser who just got lucky a million times in a row.
Right. Yeah. He literally got hit by a plane in midair and was perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
And toward the end of that origin story, the dude who's trained to fly the fucking jetpack shows up, and this Cliff guy is like, no, I'm still going to do it my way.
Right.
And I'm going to do it on my own, even though you are far more qualified than me.
Right.
And somehow he still manages to, do his thing.
Yep.
It's absurd.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it. But it's ridiculous.
I will say I did enjoy the Carney arc.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the last one.
Yeah. The last 2 issues, I want to say.
Yeah.
The tail end of the book for the collection.
Because that actually had something going on, in my opinion.
Right. And that's kind of, admittedly, I thought we'd get 1, maybe 2 issues of this collection of the origin story. Mm-hmm. It could have been condensed down to that real fucking easy.
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe more of that, like, action-y. Action-y's not even more, just...
It's more kind of semi-espionage.
Yeah, like, there's story there.
Right.
So I thought maybe we'd get more of that, and it's like, oh, this is what Rocketeer does.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, like, figuring out how Rocketeer got his quote-unquote powers. It's not powers. It's like, that's real simple. He found an engine. Okay, done.
Yeah,
like,
he stole shit.
Yeah. And then what does Rocketeer do with this?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get a bunch of what does he do with this.
Right. But like, that Carney arc, I thought was good. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I really like the character design of the strongman. Mm-hmm. With a big knobby nose and just like exaggerated features.
Well, he was the murderer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the story is, apparently, Sakor being a dick, missed his missed work because he was banging some chick. So Tina, I believe, she was the midget in the
yeah.
She volunteered to step in because she's in love with Sakor. Ends up dying in the magic show, and the strong man became pissed because he was in love with Tina,
right,
and decides to kill everybody.
Yep, goes on a murder spree.
Yeah. So that's the basic premise, and The idea is there's one more person or two more people left for him to kill. Is the magician and Sakura, and Sakura is trying to save the magician.
Yep. Pretty much, yeah. But even with that, there's not much rocketeering.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
So, what the fuck does Rocketeer do? Like,
yeah.
So, that's left me hanging and wanting for sure.
Right. I think the only time he actually used the rocket was like that last little bit, just rocketing out of the theater.
Well, there was he was flying over the city too with someone on a plane.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. But even still, it's like, whatever, dude.
Oh, another thing about so I was thinking about the Tina character suffocating in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that would really work? Do people of smaller statures have less lung capacity? Or is it more of a training thing? They're not like Tina's not used to holding her breath for as long as.
I didn't consider that. I would assume there is smaller capacity, but you can also train it.
Right.
So.
And then that brings up the other point, which is why didn't the magician modify the act, get out of his chain sooner?
Right.
To accommodate.
Because they're dum-dums.
Because they need a reason for the strongman to be mad.
Yes.
That's why.
He couldn't just stub his toe on the fireplace.
Right.
Go on a murder spree because of it.
He couldn't just have somebody draw dicks on his weight. It's like, oh, Secord!
I wish they would have.
One of the things, so his buddy in New York, who was flying the plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
He keeps calling him Bo. Is Bo a nickname for Cliff? I don't know where that even comes from.
I don't know.
I don't know if you noticed that, but
no,
just everything about this book feels so tropey.
Yeah, that's the shtick, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't written in the 40s and 50s, but it was meant to make you think of that time.
Well, okay. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't read the book again.
I'm not going to read any more Rocketeer anything.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with what I have, but I don't need any more.
You're satisfied.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I got it. Cool.
Yeah. As for the album, we went with Crescent, Carving the Fires of Akhet. I believe how it's pronounced. I don't know.
Mm.
It's Egyptian band doing Black Death.
And it's on Listenable Records.
Yeah.
Which is very apt for this album.
It is very listenable.
It's listenable.
In fact, it's so listenable. So, I put on music at work and sometimes, replace video game music with whatever music I'm listening to. And I found myself while at work playing video games, oh wait, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And that doesn't happen too often for me. For the most part, background stuff. But the riffs,
took the forefront?
Yeah, it was good enough to grab my attention while I'm doing something else.
Right.
To where, okay, I'm going to pay attention for a couple,
a little bit.
Yeah. See what's going on here. And yeah, there's so many good riffs on this album. It doesn't sound like Behemoth, but Behemoth is the band that comes to my head.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It sounds like a mix between Behemoth and Nile.
Yeah. It's it reminded me of how much fun Behemoth could be.
Yeah. Well, it's the especially Behemoth-y parts to me were when it was kind of a slower paced guitar riff over faster drums.
Oh yeah, because Behemoth does that.
Yeah,
so
that's
all over the place.
It's Behemoth does this. Other bands do too, but Behemoth and Nile were the forefront. So
And I also, like, I don't really know too much about, like, authentic Egyptian music or
Right.
anything, but, the melodies, it's, in my head, it fits.
Well, I'm curious if you would probably know better than I do if you went and paid attention or looked at tabs or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, isn't there an Egyptian scale or something like that?
I think there probably is.
Do you think they crafted solos based off of that scale?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Because if you're gonna be an Egyptian band,
Mhm.
not just from Egypt, but that's your theme, like maybe that should be your shtick.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess everybody has their own different way of approaching writing music.
Right.
It could be, they're not consciously using, a Middle Eastern scale. It's just they're so used to that sound.
That's what they're doing.
Right.
Gotcha. I don't know. It was just a thought I had. I have zero, like, I would not be able to tell.
Mhm.
There's no way I could personally tell.
Right.
But it just, for whatever reason, I was like, oh, that was a thing I remember from, like, a long time ago. I don't know how many years, a long time. It's like, oh, that was a scale that exists, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do that. And that's as far as I went
Right.
looking into it.
I mean, for me, it's, I guess, I didn't bother looking really into, what they do musically, but it's more of a, me listening to the songs like, oh, if you tell me this song is about Anubis, I was like, okay, yeah, that fits. Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I can imagine this song being about Anubis based on, the notes I'm hearing.
I think I could say that about virtually any song where the lyrics aren't super discernible.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that could be about Anubis.
But, I mean, could Crystal Mountain, does Crystal Mountain sound like it would be a song about Anubis?
That's my answer. Yeah. Which is a decisive no, get the fuck out of here.
Or, hammer smash face,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, music just by itself does invoke, like,
Certain
certain
Okay.
mental imageries. And when I listen to the songs by Crescent, it's like, if you don't tell me that they're from Egypt, give me any context other than the music.
You could still...
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is probably something about Middle Eastern something or other.
The
maybe.
messy potamias.
Yeah.
Messy potato mias.
Messy hippopotamus.
So there was, speaking about really cool moments, a couple minutes into whatever the track was called, it was Imprecation something something something,
Mhm.
had really cool riff in it also. So I've got to say on the matter, but it was just really cool sounding.
Yeah.
It's like track 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of moments where I thought to myself, like, I should probably do something like that. Like, not exactly copy it, but like take these ideas that they presented as like, I should probably try something like that.
Yeah, see what comes out, right?
Yeah.
In your style.
Mm-hmm.
So did the copy you had, that you listened to, did it have the extra tracks or the bonus tracks?
No.
Okay. So the one I listened to had a live cover or live song and then 2 covers.
Mm-hmm.
One cover was a dissection song,
Oh.
but it was off Rain Chaos.
Boo.
It's like, how are you going to cover a dissection song off the least good dissection album? I think it had to do with theme.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure there was some mythology-themed crap in it.
Yeah.
So that's why they chose it.
Okay.
But I was like, man, still,
Right.
just don't do it.
Right.
And then the other was For Victory,
Oh, nice.
which it wasn't bad, but it's
Yeah.
just, that's not the style of music or style of death metal that they're playing.
Right.
I was like, what do you... Okay. So I think they chose their covers poorly, is what I'm getting at.
So maybe it's a situation where, they're just having fun.
Yeah. Well, fuck you. And it probably is. It's probably true. So, like, we're just going to do it for funsies. It's bonus, so they still get their artistic endeavor out, and then the bonus is just funsies.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't quite understand bonus tracks because
Those could have been on an EP. You could have had a song, maybe two, and then your cover.
right, and plus you're paying to record these. So if they weren't ever going to be on the album in the first place.
Right.
Why are you paying to record these?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
Right?
I don't know. Unless they have like an exclusive special deal with some distributor.
Oh,
It's like, we can't release the album as it is because someone else has the rights to it. I don't know. I'm just saying. But if we have these couple extra songs, then we can do it. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But,
Or because I think with, Metaphobic's discussion about, signing and stuff, some of the labels that we spoke with had, minimum run times for albums and stuff. So maybe,
could be. Yeah, could
maybe
be.
just like little fillers.
Even if that were the case, though, that it put the album over an hour, which is a little tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it definitely, in that case, it definitely wasn't like some sort of contractual thing.
right.
They just decided they're gonna pay to record 2 more songs.
Yep.
And one's a good song, but not in their style.
Yep.
The other one is, well, I'm just gonna say it's a bad song because I don't like the album.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually bad, but it's a bad dissection song.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's decidedly not dissection.
Yeah.
I don't know why he ever did that album.
Not gonna make that joke.
Yeah, don't.
Yep. Not gonna make that
I'm
joke.
with you.
You guys can make it on your own.
You know what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really solid album, and I think I'm gonna go back and check out the rest of their discography.
Yeah, because this was the newest, right? And I don't know, 2020 or later, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fairly new, like pandemic era ish.
I'm curious to see what other listenable records their label has, because I'm not. I don't think it's amazing, but it's definitely something I can enjoy whenever it comes on.
Yeah.
If we were playing a game and then put a record on, like, cool.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's like, it's not groundbreaking.
Right.
But like it does its job pretty damn well.
Pretty good, yeah. It's Behemoth Nile with good riffs.
But Nile.
Yes.
Change your name. But Nile. I guarantee it's not taken.
Nope. Because it's a dumb fucking name.
But what if it's like literally 2 words, be Nile? And then they hire on Carl Sanders and just become Nile.
Okay. Yes.
Bye.
Dingus and Dongus.
Hey Michael.